Hi, Kawaii Creatives, shop gals and guys out there. It's your host, Imani K Brown, aka ipukekawaii, aka the head shop gal in charge, here with some more self-improvement over entrepreneurship. Let's get it. Good morning, Kawaii Creatives. So, as I walk along on my way to the studio, I thought it would be a great time to record and tell you some thoughts. Also, my tooth is killing me because I'm 40 and I still have my wisdom teeth, all four, and it sucks. But they're doing their quarterly thing right on schedule, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, they just, they're doing their thing, so it hurts. Anyway, look, so we're starting this journey together. Just talking more, showing up, told you everything that my story is not. So I thought it would be a great time to tell you what my story is. There are 4 things that I lean on: self-love, self-care, self-acceptance, and self-preservation. I think that's pretty much what my story goes into. My story is more of looking at the traumas. You remember we were talking about like things like being black and what that looks like, and how I don't really want to talk about my trauma to get you guys to follow me. That would suck, and that's just silly. So what I would like to do, since my trauma is a part of me, those are things that happened. Yes, they sucked, but sometimes without a little bit of fire, without a little bit of pressure, diamonds don't fucking shine. So I will say that while they did happen and while they did suck, I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I didn't go through a lot of the shit that I went through yesterday. We'll say yesterday, long time ago. Yesterday. So, as I explore some things that are about me, some things that are of me, some things that I may want to hide from, as I face me, like pretty much publicly, because, this podcast people can get a hold of, right? So as I face me, becoming a better entrepreneur, becoming a better artist and a better illustrator, becoming a better businesswoman, and becoming a better woman altogether. Let's just say that this isn't one of those journeys that leans into trauma porn. We're leaning into being healed. We're leaning into our own wellness. We're leaning into those things and saying that those things may have very well been necessary, because maybe one thing that I did experience, and if I didn't, would have taken me on some wrong turn. I mean, I'm a city kid. I could have ended up a suburban kid, and that looks totally different for me. Shout out, no hate to anybody who's from the burbs, nothing like that. Don't much trip. But what I'm saying is that it's very easy to have, good morning. It's very easy to have ended up in a much different spot that I may not appreciate as much if I didn't go through some of the things that I went through. I'll say all of the things. I appreciate them all. So look, one thing somebody asked me was like, growing up in the hood. Growing up in the hood, it must have been traumatic, right? I've seen some sick shit in the hood. I won't recount any of them because I don't want to trigger anybody else. I don't know who's listening. And because I don't know who's listening, hold please. Okay, we're back. Because I don't know who's listening, I want to be kind to not triggering anybody else's anything else. As kind as I can possibly be. And still get the things to you and still get the work done for myself. So, he asked me about being from the hood. Must have been traumatic. You've seen some things. A lot of things were in scarcity. No, actually, the hood taught me things like being able to stand out, but also being able to fit in or blend in even. How to be one, but be one with and of the community. So I still have my voice, but it lends into the collective voice. Hood living taught me things like that. There are a lot of other examples. I'm walking and I'm looking around, so it's going to be hard to just ping out all these examples. But it was a very interesting thought that he would think that my living in a hood and my situation coming up, one that I didn't have privy to change in any way. I mean, I was a kid, so I didn't have privy to change it for any reason. But somehow he thought that I would feel that me growing up in the hood was traumatic. And it wasn't. I grew up trading comic books with my best friend in the alley like we were selling crack to each other. It was great. We had our own little space under an apartment in an alley where we just all kind of pulled up, but all the kids were responsible for each other. It was great. No, there weren't any spaces for kids growing up in Ivy City, but we made our own space, and it was fucking great. Our families helped look out for each other, look out for us, make sure we did our homework. Mine was a must. I could not leave the porch. I couldn't leave the porch and play with my friends until all my homework was done. And you can check out my magazine, Shop Gal Magazine, issue 0, the launch issue, where I actually talk about that. I'll leave the link in the description. But I actually talk about growing up in the hood. The article is called Against All Odds. Because, I mean, some people see it as odds. And I guess I'll say they were ever in my favor. Yes, I did that. So, anyway, that's what my story is. As we go forward, we're not looking at things that were unsavory in life as something traumatic. We're looking at them as something necessary. We're looking at them as trials, not trauma. We're looking at them as things that help me build the tools that I needed to go forward, to become the woman that I am today, to be able to get here so that I can be with you to proceed in the future. So we're going to Sanko for this shit. We're going to go back and get some of that stuff, and then I'll get those tools so we can move it along in the future. I think that's the best thing of what my story is. I hope you're along for the ride. Thanks for listening, guys.